Hey, everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're talking Thibodaux, specifically the Thibodaux Police Department, and Bryan Zeringue, the chief of Thibodaux Police Department, is here to talk. Pretty good summer, huh?
Wasn't a bad summer.
So, I mean, it was shorter summer,
I was
right?
getting ready to say a quick summer.
Quick
yeah.
summer, just a couple of weeks of school starts now, the first week or
I
right at
think
the beginning
Friday
of the
was
second
actually
week.
the first for public schools. Yeah.
So, what does that mean when we start school? When does that mean for your department?
Well, that means, we working heavy in the school zones, making sure that people abide by, just getting everybody back in the motion of slowing down in the school zones while, with the children out, getting them back to understanding the laws of the school buses. The signs are out. That means stop, not pass. So it's just getting everybody back in a routine. It's the same thing when farming starts up. That's going to be in a few months too. So it's just a reminder to get everybody back focusing on what's important. That's making sure the students are safe getting to and from school.
Does that help with structure? That everybody now, instead of just, kind of hanging around during the summer, you might not have a camp or you might not have anything to do during the summer. So now you have the structure of school.
You do.
Starts with
You do, and then things
food
start,
and everything else.
right. And the big thing is the car lines, because as you know, car lines are a big thing. Even though you have school buses, you still have a large car line. And that normally takes a couple of weeks to get everybody back in the swing of things, of how the line's supposed to flow. And it just takes a little while. Normally after 1 or 2 weeks, they understand the concept and everything, rolls real smooth after that. But the first few days, it's a little confusing because some parents are just starting at a particular school because the child might have been at a lower grade, and then when they get to maybe 7th grade, they go to like E.D. White for 8th grade.
Sure.
So it's a switch and it's a change. So now the car line's a little different, change up on things. But for the most part, it takes a couple of weeks, but they get the hang of it after.
Yeah. So, like I say, it had seemed like a pretty quiet summer for the most part. We hadn't had any storms yet, but we're just moving in to that part of the hurricane season. So, juvenile crime, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Juveniles is still one of the biggest problems that we're seeing, when it comes to some of the shootings that we've been having. We've been working closely with Terrebonne Sheriff's Office, Homo PD, and Lafourche, and been meeting, putting a task force together, try to get a hand on things. But again, crime is what it is, and it's just to try to prevent crime and educate the public, make the public understand that if you see something out of the ordinary, make sure you contact us and let us know.
Yeah, I guess in all of that, it's easier to kind of stop a crime sometimes, or that level of crime, to maybe stop something and maybe mediate some beefs that may be going on as opposed to trying to stop it after it gets started. Because any of those kind of conflicts, once it gets started, it's always kind of a back and forth. Huh?
Absolutely, and you see that too often. That it stems from something else. There might have been a fight somewhere else that they're still beefing about that particular fight, and the next thing you know, it's another one breaks out. And that's what you got to watch with with school, with the games and stuff. We tell parents, we have it under control. A lot of times we get warned ahead of time. We pick up on things that are being said around the school if there's going to be some trouble. And besides that, we always post extra officers during game time, to help with the traffic flow, but also to monitor the crowds and stuff.
Sure. Which also brings us to schools and resource. Obviously that was big in May when we ended the school year, some of the issues we've had.
And we're still meeting on that. We met just a couple of weeks ago with Nichols, Lafourche Sheriff's Office, the sheriff and myself met with our, higher ranking officers in the department and discussing that. And that's going to continue to go on, because we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. We got some training that's going to be planned in the future. So everybody's making sure that everybody's on the same page and understanding. One thing that we want to do is educate the parents too and the public to make them understand that, you're going to have staging areas, and it's for a reason, because when an incident occurs, that incident is a crime scene. So you have to preserve that crime scene. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and you don't want any chaos to come there and disturb anything. So we just ask for their cooperation if something should happen, that, they work with us and understand the reason for staging is for those purposes, to make sure that, one, crime scene is not messed up. Secondly, understand that we have to go in there to eliminate the threat. And then after that, you start working your way up, the injured, if there's any injury and stuff, and making sure everybody's accounted for. And plus, you got other resources that's going to be also assisting us when things are safe for them to come into play. So we have to stage everybody to make sure that can flow in smoothly without having any bottlenecks that hampers them from getting in.
I guess the lessons you learn from some of that too, and I'm sure there's, a lot of people second guess what happened for the first responders in Uvalde, and going all the way back to Columbine. In between, they've had success and and on a number of different levels.
And I think
so that must get on you guys. Must have to go. Wait, we got to go over this one more time again.
It does, and a lot of that comes into planning, like we're doing now in the training.
Right,
And that's the good thing about training together with all these agencies when we train together, because it helps out. Everybody's on the same page. If you don't train on a regular basis and stay in contact and communicate, like I mentioned when we first came on, get complacent. And we know what happens with complacent. That's when things go wrong because nobody's prepared. They're not up to date with stuff and, moving in the right direction.
Right. And yeah, I don't want to dwell on that as we start a school year. I mean, it seems like the momentum has been building and the kids are ready to go back to school, no mask, all of that. So, it seems like everybody's built in for a good school year and the festivals are in the fall will be coming
And I think
back.
everybody's ready for that. I mean, think about it with all the COVID and everything else we've been having, people locked down.
Right,
I was talking to somebody earlier about that. People are just ready to get out and do some things. Even if they got repairs that they're still making on homes from Ida, they want to get out and enjoy themselves too and get that stress relief. So I think we're going to see a big thing with the games going on once the football games and all start up, the festivals start to pop up. I think it's going to be good, and the community comes together as a whole. We just had one in Thibodaux that the NAACP put on in MLK Park Saturday, and it was just so nice to see people gathering together and having a good time. You know, so.
No, that's what I'm saying. Look, we've had a rough couple of years here, man.
We have.
We went from 2 years of lockdowns to a major storm. So, like I said, I don't want to dwell on the negative.
And we see the positive too with all these school supplies.
Yeah.
They're having a lot of these
drives
for school supplies, which helps out a lot because we know the shortage of everything. You got to grab while you can, and there's a lot of people donating for school supplies, so that helps out for parents. To afford these things that maybe can't afford it, they have the school supply.
Absolutely. That's Chief Bryan Zeringue with Thibodaux Police Department. We'll be right back. More Bayou Time after this.